Well, good morning. I think we've got a participant on the call here. Magnus. Good morning, Magnus. Feel free to come and join me with camera and audio to be a part of the masterclass. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'll just kind of run through the presentation. And I think there might be another one joining us, but we'll just wait a couple more moments if anyone else wants to join. This is going live out to LinkedIn. And yeah, I just want to welcome everyone that's tuning in live. Today, we're looking at unlocking the potential of LinkedIn ads. So this is a part of a series of masterclasses that I've been running since January this year. And the whole purpose of this masterclass is to just kind of add value to B2B providers working in the service sector. As long as your audience is B2B, I'm kind of adding value through lead generation tips. Each masterclass, we focus on a different element. And this week, we're looking at LinkedIn ads as part of your lead generation strategy. So on the agenda this morning, we've got, I'll do a bit of an introduction, an overview. We've then got a section on creating effective ad campaigns. I'm looking at advanced targeting techniques, tracking and measuring the performance of your LinkedIn campaigns. I'll do a bit of a walkthrough actually on my own LinkedIn ads account, and then we'll go into some Q&As for anyone else that might be joining us. We'll also check in with the comments on LinkedIn as well. So this is kind of week 10. Just going to do a quick overview. So I'm your host, Alex Smith, and I'm the founder of Leadeth. Leadeth.io is our website. And we're a powerful lead generation agency that exists to support you, the small business owner, and help you to achieve your sales goals through automating your LinkedIn lead generation. So let's get started. I love always to start these weekly webinars with a bit of a overview of what we're looking at today is LinkedIn ads. So in the context of the classic marketing model, this is where we're trying to build awareness of your business. That goes down through to interest. Every stage, as we get lower down, the number of prospects in each stage gets smaller and smaller and reduced. And that's all about finding that target audience, engaging with them, and they come to this stage where they're considering yourself as a business to do business with, or a brand, or that goes through to the purchase stage, and then we retain that client. And that's when you keep them as a loyal customer for many years, hopefully. Another marketing model that you may have seen is this thing here. This is called the flywheel effect. And it's a kind of newer model that emphasizes the ongoing relationship with the customer. So rather than just that initial sale, it goes on and on. Like a machine, it gains momentum and it's self-sustaining. You attract, you engage, you delight your customer, and they become advocates for what you're doing, and they tell all their friends about it. So that in turn attracts more clients. So where does Leadeth fit in with the whole kind of LinkedIn ads things and what we're doing? I mean, LinkedIn ads, this doesn't actually fit in with the Leadeth roadmap, but it is potentially something that I might roll out to my done for you clients. With the LinkedIn Leadeth roadmap, we look at who is your target audience, step one. We then look at personalizing that, priming your personal LinkedIn profile to make sure it's speaking to your target audience. Then there's this piece on LinkedIn outreach automation. We've got a few proprietary software tools that we use. They've been white labeled, and it allows our clients to automate that whole process. It's quite incredible, and it generates a lot of leads and new clients for ourselves. The natural add-on piece to that is a piece of email marketing, and then that moves on up to a video content marketing, where we produce a video, we get it, cut it down, edit it, put the captions in, slice it up into 13 segments, and that gets pushed out onto your LinkedIn channels, your personal profile, your company page, to build engagement, to set you apart as the industry leader. And now that we've kind of created this lead gen machine, the final stage is this CRM bit, appointment setting. So it's ensuring email, SMS reminders go out automatically to your participants to reduce those no-shows. And it gives you full control over your calendar. You just want to wake up in the morning and see a calendar with lots of appointments. That's the dream, and that's the goal. So a few stats. Here we go. This one came straight from LinkedIn. Brands have seen a 33% increase in purchase intent. And brand and acquisition messages on LinkedIn are 6 times more likely to convert. If you compare that to other social platforms, apparently LinkedIn claims 82% of B2B marketers realize that their greatest success is often with LinkedIn. Now, I personally, I've conducted ads with Google pay-per-click ads. I've also done Facebook ads, and I've also dabbled with LinkedIn ads more recently. Kind of this week, I've been trying a few campaigns just to see kind of what sort of ROI we can kind of achieve. So it's still early days for me. So definitely not the master, but I've dived into this subject and unlocked a few things. And hopefully this week, we're going to discuss how to kind of unlock the power of those LinkedIn ads so you can use them to generate really good quality leads for your business. But first, let me start with the basic. What are LinkedIn ads and why should you be using them? Well, quite simply, LinkedIn ads are a form of advertising, and that allows you to then promote your products or services on the LinkedIn platform. And these ads can take many forms, including sponsored content, sponsored emails, and display ads. Unlike other forms of advertising, LinkedIn ads give you access to their highly targeted audience of we're talking 800 million LinkedIn profiles now. It's huge numbers. And when you have a real kind of highly targeted audience and you're putting your ads in front of those targeted audience, this makes LinkedIn kind of the ideal platform in terms of B2B marketing. So if you're in the B2B space, LinkedIn is definitely where you need to be investing all your energy and time and money, because you will see some really good results from campaigns within LinkedIn. So as I was saying earlier, my personal strategy, the way I've kind of built up my customer base, has always been referral marketing and also using my own tools, LinkedIn messaging. So you could call that as kind of a LinkedIn organic outreach. It doesn't cost us a huge amount. The software overhead is very minimal, and for what you get in return of that software, it's fantastic. I'm yet to see if I can get LinkedIn ads to perform equally in terms of getting revenue from prospects from LinkedIn ads, but so my main strategy is LinkedIn messaging. Check out my other videos where I talk about in previous weeks how you can go about creating the first video I did was 4 techniques to kind of generate new leads from LinkedIn. That's the most popular video that we've produced. So moving on, when it comes to kind of running effective ad campaigns on LinkedIn, there's several key factors that are going to help you to achieve your desired results. So I'm going to go through some top tips and some examples just to help you create an ad campaign that's going to resonate with your target audience. So firstly, before we do any type of marketing campaign, really, we need to understand what are our objectives with this marketing. So when you go into LinkedIn, we'll dive into the platform, as I say, later on in the masterclass. And I'll actually showcase you to kind of how we can create these things. But one of the things you'll come against is this objective selection. Going back to that marketing funnel, you've got your awareness right at the top. That is kind of the mass numbers. You've then got the consideration stage, and the consideration stage leads down into that conversion stage. So today, what we're trying to do is really focus on kind of what might be right for you. So there's a Q&A session right at the end to kind of help you unlock that and understand this. I'm not going to run through each of these because it's very easy for you to kind of log on to the actual LinkedIn platform and create a campaign. And there's so much help and support and resources out there, far better than I would ever be able to articulate on a masterclass. But just going back to basics, once you've selected the right objective, so what you're trying to get drive traffic to your business, or is it the top of the funnel? Is it brand awareness? We then move down that funnel and we think, right, what is the type of ad format that I want? And on LinkedIn, you'll get presented with these sorts of several kind of ad formats, including sponsored content and sponsored emails, display ads, and it can all be quite confusing if you don't understand what each one does. So the best thing to do is choose your objective on the previous screen, and then it will come up with some options here. For example, if you want to reach professionals in a specific industry, then sponsored content might be your best bet. So obviously you've got the single image ad, so that's kind of with that hero image, could be an image of your product, image of you, something very kind of natural always works quite well. Then you've got the carousel image ad, and that's where you have multiple kind of, a bit like an Instagram story, you have multiple images that people can like scroll through to build up a bit of a story. Those I've seen quite a few of those. They're quite good. Video ads, and obviously the cost of a video ad is going to be, because you're taking up a lot more of people's attention with a video ad potentially. So in terms of the costs to produce that bit of ad, LinkedIn are probably going to want a bit more money from you. But we'll go into some of the tools on LinkedIn where you can estimate the cost of your campaign before you even kind of really launch it. Text ad, a good old plain simple text ad, a little bit like classic Google ads, really. So not so prominent. I've been playing around with a text ad so far. I haven't got huge results from my text ad, but the other types are you've got a spotlight ad, messaging ads. So messaging ads is quite powerful. That's when you send a direct message to someone. So some people call them sponsored emails, but yeah, it basically appears as a message to them, but it will say sponsored ad at the top of that message. Conversation ad, so where you can start, again, very similar to the LinkedIn emails, but through messages. And then you've got event ads where you're promoting an event on LinkedIn to get more people, participants. Back to this section then. So to create a compelling ad, it's all about really good copy and visuals. And that's what's going to make it attractive, to grab your audience's attention, and that will help you to clearly communicate your message. So make sure your ad copy is concise. It's got to be compelling, and make sure that you highlight the benefits of your product or service. Using high quality visuals that are really relevant to your message is going to really help you. So you can actually optimize your ad targeting by things called like LinkedIn offers robust targeting options, where you can then, including the targeting by job title, you can then target by the company size and the industry. If you're familiar with Sales Navigator, you see all those filters that are available. You can actually start to create this audience, this group of people that you're going to be sending the ad in front of. So some, for example, yeah, if you're promoting a B2B service, you might want to target the decision makers in that specific industry. So think about the job titles, who that perfect client might, what they might look like, and that will help you to then, yeah, to really maximize your campaigns. Some other tips, obviously keep the ad copy and visuals consistent with your whole brand identity. That's going to really help. Test different ad formats. So create a text ad, create an image ad, create a video ad. So if you create along the same guidelines, you know, and the same messaging, but just a different format, that's going to help you to understand which one of those formats is going to be more effective for you. And it's all about monitoring and seeing that campaign performance regularly, and then just adjust your messaging as you need. Now, some of the ad formats, you can create them, but you're not allowed to actually then edit them, whereas others you can actually edit them on the fly as they're alive and active. We'll go into those in a bit more detail later on. Just going to show you what I've got going on. So here we go. This is single image ads. So under LinkedIn, you've got something called the LinkedIn Marketing Labs here, resources, ads guide. So there's a lot of information available here, like the type of image, what sort of image you upload, the exact proportions that image needs to be, the number of character counts that you can use, and then the call to action options that you can have at the bottom of that image. So yeah, what do you want them to do, the CTA. So yeah, there's some helpful resources there. Feel free to check those out. I'll drop a link in the chat or on the comments below this video later on. Fourthly, as I said, it's all about optimizing that ad and targeting that specific audience. And there's several ways that we can do that, and we'll go into kind of some advanced options now. So to truly unlock the potential of that LinkedIn ad campaign, it's important that you explore some of the more advanced targeting techniques available on the LinkedIn platform. These techniques are going to really help you to reach the right audience and your ad campaign. It's going to maximize its effectiveness and maybe utilize how it uses up that advertising budget. And do start with a budget. You know, when I did it, I thought, you know, if I can allocate £100 into marketing spend for LinkedIn ads to kind of evaluate it, fantastic. Yeah, and you can set a budget on that complete goal and have multiple ads underneath that budget, which is really cool. Another advanced training option here is to remember matching audiences, and I can actually show you how to do that in a moment once we kind of come out the talky bit and go on to the Q&As and live demo. But basically, you'll have a target audience. You can actually upload that target audience and create what we call lookalike audiences. So if you've got identified a list of 100 prospects who are real ideal people, or maybe the current people that you're working with, you can upload them to the ad platform. And then LinkedIn, within, I think it takes 48 hours, goes around and looks at those 100 people and says, right, here is a lookalike audience that are very similar to your ideal clients. And then they push the ad to the lookalike audience. It can be really effective. Facebook Meta have been using that in their platform for quite some time now as well. So yeah, remember lookalike audiences. LinkedIn will also allow you to target users based on their interests, skills, and job titles, and they'll have a list of preloaded audiences ready to go, basically, and it will tell you the numbers in that audience and stuff. And that's particularly effective for any business that's looking to reach a specific professional audience, such as IT professionals or marketers. You can really segment that audience, which is fantastic. There's also targeting options based on user demographics, such as age, gender, and location. So a lot of people come to me, they're saying, yeah, I've got a LinkedIn messaging campaign. I want to run it just to females. And we always think, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? There's no easy answer, because you can't just, using Sales Navigator and the LinkedIn tool, you can't just search for just females. People have searched for female-only groups or women-led groups, and they've found their audience sitting there. That's what we call a congregation point, and then they'll target from a congregation point. But with LinkedIn ads, you can actually specify by gender, age, and location. So much more powerful if you've as a strategy, if you want to hit the bigger numbers and fill the awareness, the top of that funnel, get the people into the funnel. Many businesses have successfully used these advanced techniques to drive some really good results on LinkedIn. For example, a B2B software company can use account-based targeting to reach those decision makers at target companies. So you can actually do a company-specific search. Recruitment agencies can use this as well to target users who have interacted with their job listings, and it's retargeting is quite a powerful retargeting a specific audience with an ad. So it may have resonated with them, but it's not quite sunk in, and it takes about 7 different touch points before it triggers something in the brain for them to think, yeah, I'll wake up to it this time. It's quite a bizarre phenomenon. Overall, then, by exploring these kind of advanced techniques, you're going to start to tailor your approach to specific audience and goals, and then that will help you to create highly effective LinkedIn campaigns that are going to drive real results for your business. Once you've created the campaign and they're off live, it's vital to be tracking and measuring the performance of these LinkedIn ad campaigns. And that's going to help you to understand kind of how effective that campaign has been. And it's going to help you to further optimize it for even better results. And it's going back to your goals sheet at the start of the year, or whenever you did it, every 90 days, some people do goals. You need to know how many leads that you need to be getting as a result of all your marketing endeavors, and you need to be knowing the costs associated with those leads. Every lead costs to get a lead. So when you know your conversion rate, that's going to really help you, because you can say, I need this lead to be seen by at least 100 people, of which 10 might click through and join something else. And then out of those 10, you might have 3 sales calls. And then from the 3 sales calls, you may have 1 actual sale. So when you start to look at the numbers like that and kind of drill down how many at each different stage, that will really help you to kind of to understand how many you need to be attaching. So if you know your marketing spend was 150, get those 10, and then to get the 3 sales demo calls and to get the 1 customer. It's just basically maths, so you can ramp it up. So if you put an extra 0 on the end of that marketing budget, you could be expecting, 10 times the figure potentially. Doesn't always work like that, but that's kind of generally the rule. So yeah, conversion tracking. What's conversion tracking? You might be thinking about. Well, conversion tracking is when we basically track the action that user has taken. So it may be that you want them to come to your website and fill out a form or make a purchase. So when you start to include conversion tracking in your measuring of your performance in this stage, that will help you to really understand the ad spend, because you can get that figure as one figure nice and cleanly on the analytics. Things to monitor. So have a think about click-through rates. So click-through rates is where people click actually onto the ad. And then you've also got something called CVR, which is conversion rates. They're really important metrics to measure in all your campaigns. So whether you do that on an ad basis or on a daily basis, you can start to monitor which campaigns are generating the more clicks and actually converting, which is what you want. So think about that end goal always and have that in your mind. So when you start to monitor these metrics, you can start to understand which ads are actually going to perform really well and which ads need improving. You may have come across something called A/B testing, and that's a great way to measure the effectiveness of different ad variations. So you can test one different title. It could be, A, and then test another title, B. And what it does is it displays, 50% of A's and 50% of B's, and then you can see from your number of clicks on each ad, which ad is performing better. So that's a really helpful way to kind of understand and leverage the best ad. So you can do that with different visuals, different copy, different ad formats, to really help you to understand which one's going to work best for you. Finally, so using data to optimize your campaigns, that's going to be crucial. Last week we talked about AI and how vital it is to kind of analyze that data. Now there's some clever software out there which can actually crunch all that data to give you some clear guides and actions. So many businesses have successfully used data to improve their LinkedIn ad campaigns. For example, B2B software companies might use data to identify which ad formats and targeting options generate the most leads, whereas professional services firm might use the data to refine their messaging and improve their conversion rates. So in conclusion, tracking and measuring that performance of your LinkedIn ads is a vital step. Don't overlook it. You can achieve better results and really start to maximize your ad budget. What I'd love to do is go into a bit of a demo. So I'm going to go to LinkedIn. This is just my homepage, LinkedIn. And you can see we've got advertise here, top corner button. Sometimes that's a link to Sales Navigator. But if you go to where it says advertise, this takes you into a new platform, and it's basically the LinkedIn Campaign Manager. And once it loads, sorry, it's a bit slow my end. You'll get presented with different accounts and things. So different accounts, you can apply like a different credit card or debit card or payment source to a different account. So you can delete those accounts and amend them. So what I've got here, I've got a couple of active accounts. I've got an account on hold, but this one down here, this one's actually been active for the last couple of days. Leadeth ads. We can go into this campaign, and the process is pretty straightforward here. I mean, let's have a look at this. So it starts with plan. That's what you need to do in a new campaign. You need to think about your audience. Think about who you want to be targeting. Within audiences, there's a few options that come up. So you can see what I've done. I've actually uploaded a list of contacts. So my contact list had 990 members. And then on the back of that, you can build out what I call lookalike audiences. And it's very straightforward to do. You can go to create an audience. So upload a list, company or contacts. So I just did contacts. Or if you've got offline events, you can upload a list relating to offline events. If you're retargeting, you can do that. And again, create those lookalike audience based on one you've uploaded, which are quite cool as well. So you can also retarget people that have maybe clicked on your company page on LinkedIn. So putting an ad in front of them again, just to retarget them. That's where you would go for that one. But certainly, if you've not got any kind of contacts yet, then you might want to think about going to something like let's have a look. create a lookalike audience, give it a title. That's how I'd create mine. Yeah, so it can take 48 hours to do a lookalike audience. So I've actually done it off my mailing list on that one. When we go back to the next section, you can actually go to saved audiences. So I've got one here which was generated by a LinkedIn, and this was marketing professionals. And if you go into it, it tells you who we're targeting. Obviously, you've got the location insights, where those people are based, quite a bit of information about them. Okay, and within content, you've got their interests, location, the actual members, what is their job role, predominantly marketing. You can look at the seniority, so quite a big range of jobs there, how long they've been in the role. Yeah, so this was just a pre-made audience called marketing professionals that yeah, and then as soon as you're ready to go with that audience, you click create campaign. So if we just go back, I'm just going to take you to one of my open campaigns. So we were mentioning earlier about the objectives. So this is where you see those objectives. You go to create a brand new campaign, and you've got, right, what are the objectives of this campaign? So just click next. So you've got the awareness. Do you want more people to learn about your business? Brand awareness, top of funnel. Consideration, do we want them to shunt the traffic to websites? Do we want more people to watch that video content, increase engagement with any posts that your company might be putting out as well, increase followers? Or is it all about conversion? So that's using LinkedIn Forms. So LinkedIn Forms is where you can obtain really easily their first name, last name, email address, and they don't have to type that in because it's pre-filled, because they're already logged into the LinkedIn platform. So that's really good way if you're further down that funnel with a select audience. So once you've chosen your campaign, for example, I've gone for brand awareness here. Obviously, you can either create a new audience or use one of your saved audiences. So if I wanted to put it out to that big marketing audience, I could. Or you go to LinkedIn audiences and search for a LinkedIn audience. So you can actually search for whatever it might be. These are some presets basically. But the best thing is to think about your audience and actually create that yourself, and certainly give the lookalike audiences a go, because I think that uses the AI, the analytics to assess it. So this marketing one, you can see all the different job titles that are included there. Obviously, we can go in and edit those and choose the ones that we want or don't want. And then I've also specified, and we can say, right, and also we want to do a list upload. So if you want the same campaign to go out to a specific list of people, you can do that here as well. So the ad formats, very straightforward. Choose the different ad format. As I say, running several of these is going to really help you to kind of look at it. And then placements, happy for it to go out to the LinkedIn audience network. So this is where it goes out to third-party sites as well, which is quite good. You set yourself a daily budget. Mine's a bit ridiculous there at £100. I'd never do a campaign of £100 a day. I just couldn't afford to do that just yet. But certainly build up to it. I think you've got to spend at least 80 quid in a campaign on LinkedIn for it to charge, I think. You build it up to 80 quid. There are some incentives out there. Sometimes they do vouchers. So if you spend 80, they'll give you 80 quid in ad spends as well. The forecasting results here on the side is quite a good indicator. So for this one, you can say, right, for 7 days, I'm going to be spending between 43 and 70 quid. What's my reach? So my reach is going to be 47,000 maximum. What is the cost per 100 member accounts that I'm reaching? Typically around about £3.5p 100. 7-day average frequency. So yeah, you're looking at 1 to 1.4. So it gives you a bit of an indication in terms of kind of the number of prospects that you're reaching out. Obviously, if we went back to that object selection and choose some of the other options, then that would reflect there as well. That's basically it. The biggest part that a lot of people get stuck on is this conversion tracking. It's an optional stage, so you can do it all manually and just have a look at how many leads have come in from that LinkedIn advert. But obviously, you need to be asking clients at a certain stage, how did you hear about us? Where did that sign up come from? If you can automate it, great. The way we do that is by adding a little bit of code to your website. I personally love Google Tag Manager. I've got a WordPress website. and I use Google Tag Manager to basically send that information. So with this one, we can say, what does a win look like for them? It could be they've signed up to an event or something. So it could be a register event. We can give it a name, thank you page. So when they complete that thank you, when they go to the thank you page on that form, for the next 30 days, it monitors the clicks and the time frame for when it can be counted, number of views. So anyone that's gone to that page and viewed in the last 7 days or 7 days ahead, it counts that as a conversion. So it means you can kind of close off, bookend your campaign. Once you've done that, it says, right, what are the ads that will apply to? So I've got an existing ad there, and then you go through to this insight tag. So the insight tag, I do it, as I say, using Tag Manager. So Google Tag Manager, you can add something called Google Insight Tag, and it basically links your website to LinkedIn. So when you go into Google Analytics and you're looking at the number of the number of events that have been booked, it will say straight away that was the LinkedIn ad. And it tells you even which LinkedIn ad contributed towards that specific booking. So yeah, fantastic little system. I just want to give an option now for some Q&As. I've been rabbiting on for a good half an hour. So have we got anybody there on the call with me? Just going to check for any chats on the live stream. Bear with me. Magnus, I see you're on the call. Have you got any questions or answers? I'll check the chat as well. Okay, that's fine if you're listening mode. Yeah, great. I mean, so that, just having a look on LinkedIn for any chats. So there's nothing live in terms of chats there on LinkedIn, and we haven't got any other process. A bit thin on the ground. Last week we had 10, and this week we've only got 1. So it's funny how it comes and goes. We typically run through the biggest takeaways. So yeah, what people's biggest takeaways were as a result of the training. This helps me to kind of note down the most key bits of learning to further improve the masterclass the next time we want to review it and do it. But I just want to thank everyone for joining me on the masterclass this morning. It's been a privilege to kind of add value to and kind of help you out on your journey in terms of lead generation. If you'd like a one-to-one strategy session with myself, I'd welcome that. The purpose of the strategy session is to understand your business in a bit more detail and identify your pain points and challenges and propose a customized solution that's going to help you achieve your lead generation goals. I'll also give you a demo of the Leadeth toolkit, which is it's a fantastic bit of kit, and I love doing the demo calls because people just see the value in it straight away. It's a no-brainer for them if you compare it to some of the other popular systems out there, which are kind of 3 or 4 times its price. So don't forget to follow me on social medias. Thank you for joining me today. And next week, we'll be looking at, I think it's all about LinkedIn newsletters. So a feature that has been around for about a year now. Still, many people aren't leveraging it. But if you're into newsletters and blogs, it's a nice way to connect with your audience and get a direct entry into their inbox. So yeah, we'll explore that in a bit more detail next week. But thank you for joining me, and I'm going to say over and out.